Hello! Hello again. My name is Emma and welcome to Faith Night Friday. Oh my God, these weeks are going by fast. I mean, they really, really are. Okay, so we are on 1 Samuel and we're reading about Eli and Saul and of course Samuel, and we're reading about how we're in the process of finding out how David is toward becoming king. So yeah, he was already under Saul's Saul had become king. And if you go back a few chapters, you'll see how he wasn't really like doing his part or doing his duty as a real king. He was more or less just like winging it. And then when it came to the real hard battles, he would always send somebody, instead of him like literally stepping out and doing really something, he would always send somebody else like to fight his battles, you know. Not that that's what usually people back, I guess, in those eras did, but you would have to step out, you know, and prove your worth as a king, you know what I mean? Back in those days, but he really didn't, you know. He was more of a coward, and so when he wanted to do something, he would always send somebody else to do it. Like in the last chapter when we were reading about when Saul was upset with Amalek because they helped David escape from Saul, he ended up getting Doeg to end up killing everybody, and he wasn't going to do it, so he knew this guy would do whatever, you know, so he did. So he always, you know, like I said, always put somebody else to do his like dirty work, or yeah, more or less. But so that's where we are now. So again, if you want to back up and see, or you could just read the chapters yourself. You could start from 1 Samuel and find out how the sequence of how everything is leading up to where David is about to be king. Okay, so we are on Samuel 23. That's where we left off. And we're just going to jump right in, okay? So chapter 23, David saves the town of Keilah. David heard that the Philistines were attacking the town of Keilah and were stealing the newly harvested grain. So he asked the Lord, "Shall I go and attack the Philistines?" "Yes," the Lord answered, "attack them and save Keilah." But David's men said to him, "We've had enough to be afraid of here in Judah. It would be much more worse if we go to Keilah and attack the Philistine forces." So David consulted with the Lord again, and the Lord consulted the Lord. So David consulted the Lord again, and the Lord said to him, "Go and attack Keilah, because I will give you victory over the Philistines." So David and his men went to Keilah and attacked the Philistines. They killed many of them and took their livestock. And so it was that day that David saved the town. With Abiathar, the son of Ahimelech, escaped and joined. No, when Abiathar's son of Ahimelech escaped the ephod with him, escaped and joined David in Keilah, he took the ephod with him. Saul was told that David had gone to Keilah, and he said, "God has put him in my power." David has trapped himself by going into a walled town with fortified gates. So Saul called his troops to war, to march against Keilah and besiege David and his men. When David heard that Saul was planning to attack him, he said to the priest Abiathar, "Bring the ephod here." Then David said, "Lord God of Israel, I have heard that Saul is planning to come to Keilah and destroy it on account of me, your servant. Will the citizens of Keilah hand me over to Saul? Will Saul really come? And as I have heard, the Lord God of Israel, I beg you not to answer me." The Lord answered, "Saul will come. I beg you to answer me." The Lord answered, "Saul will come. And will the citizens of Keilah hand my men and me over to Saul?" David asked again. "They will," the Lord answered. So David and his men, about 600 in all, left Keilah at once and kept on the move. When Saul heard that David had escaped from Keilah, he gave up his plan. Okay, so that was a short one. Usually, some of them are really, really long. Oh, wait. No, I'm not even done yet. Okay, so then, I thought this was short. No, I'm still on 23. It has a different title. Okay, so David in the hill country. David stayed in hiding in the hill country, in the wilderness near Siph. No, I can't pronounce that. Siph. Saul was always trying to find him, but God did not turn David over to him. David saw that Saul was out to kill him. David was at Horesh in the wilderness near Siph. Jonathan went to him there and encouraged him with assurance of God's protection, saying to him, "Don't be afraid. My father Saul won't be able to harm you. He knows very well that you are the one who will be the king of Israel, and that I will be the next in rank to you." The two of them made a sacred promise of friendship to each other. David stayed in Horesh, and Jonathan went home. Some people from Siph, I think it's pronounced Siph, went to Saul at Gibeah and said, "David is hiding out in our territory at Horesh on Mount Hakila. In the southern part of the Judean wilderness. We know, Your Majesty, how much you want to capture him. So come to our territory and we will make sure that you catch him." Saul answered, "May the Lord bless you for being so kind to me. Go and make sure once more. Find out for certain where he is and who has seen him there. I hear that he is very cunning. Find out exactly the places where he hides and be sure to bring back a report to me right away. Then I will go with you, and if he is still in the region, I will hunt him down, even if I have to search the whole land of Judah." So they left and returned to Siph ahead of Saul. David and his men were in the wilderness of Maon. And desolate. Wait a minute. Is it a desolate? Hold on. I just want to make sure. Okay, so went into the wilderness of Maon in a desolate valley. In a desolate valley in the southern part of Judean wilderness. Saul and his men set out to look for David, but he heard about it and went to a rocky hill in the wilderness of Maon and stayed there. When Saul heard about this, he went after David. Saul and his men were on one side of the hill, separated from David and his men, who were on the other side. They were hurrying to get away from Saul and his men, who were closing in on them and were about to capture them. Just then a messenger arrived and said to Saul, "Come back at once. The Philistines are invading the country." So Saul stopped pursuing David and went to fight the Philistines. That is why that place is called Separation Hill. David left and went to the region of in Gideon, where he stayed in hiding. Okay, so now we're on chapter 24. Okay, so let's see what the Bible, the contemporary Bible, has to say about chapter 23. I was going to bring a pen here, but I didn't, because I like to cross out every chapter. Let's see. So this is not it. It's all the way over here. Okay. So we are on chapter 23. Okay. So, guidance. First chapter 23 from the book, chapter by chapter, Bible commentary. Guidance. A gifted leader like David might have been tempted to depend on his experience. Instead, he turned to the Lord for the guidance he needed. Even the counsel of his men did not sway him once he knew the mind of the Lord. Treachery. David rescued the citizens of Keilah, yet they planned to turn him and his men over to Saul. Do not expect everybody you help to appreciate what you have done. Do you appreciate what others have done for you? Love. Although his father was out to kill David, Jonathan was brave enough to visit David and encourage him. That is what friendship is all about. How tragic that Jonathan's hopes for the future were destroyed by his father's sins. But at least Jonathan was willing to be second man. Providence. Saif belonged to Judah, so the citizens should have been loyal to David. They were obviously trying to curry favor with Saul, and they did not believe that David was their future king. God used an invasion of the Philistines to rescue David when it looked as if Saul's forces would win. No matter what men may do, good works out his purposes, and his providence does not fail. So, where are we at? I will say in this one, let me see. I'm not sure where we were in I think this was over here. On Psalms, were we on Psalms 9:2? 9:2. Sometimes it's so funny, but when I read something and I go to Psalms, they kind of like coincide with each other for some strange reason. So 9. I don't know why I put 9:2. Okay, so let's go to 10. I'm gonna cross out 9. We'll go to 10. Okay, so I'm on Psalms, a prayer for justice. Why are you so far, O Lord? Why do you hide yourself when we are in trouble? The wicked are proud and persecute the poor. Catch them in the traps they had made. The wicked man is proud of his evil desires. The greedy man curses and rejects the Lord. It's almost like the people from Kalia. Was it the people from Kalia? No, wait. It was, who was it that didn't want, they didn't want anything to do. The region, and because some of the people didn't want nothing to do with they didn't help Saul. I mean, they didn't help David. Or was it right here in Providence? Treachery. David rescued the citizens of Kalia, yet they planned to turn him in and his men over to Saul. Do not expect everybody you help to appreciate what they have done, what you have done. Do you appreciate what others have done for you? So here's David. He rescued all these citizens from Kalia, and yet they planned to turn David and his men over to Saul. Even not really like, thanks, but no thanks. Like, they didn't appreciate what, I mean, he just saved your whole tribe or whatever. And this is the thanks you give him? You want to hand him over? He just saved your whole town. And this is the thanks you get? Like, wow, So, the wicked man is proud of his evil desires. The greedy man curses and rejects the Lord. A wicked man does not care about the Lord. In his pride, he thinks that God doesn't matter. A wicked man succeeds in everything. He cannot understand God's judgment. He sneers at his enemies. He says to himself, I will never fall. I will never be in trouble. His speech is filled with curses, lies, and threats. He is quick to speak hateful, evil words. He hides himself in the villages, waiting to murder innocent people. He spies on his helpless victims. He waits in his hiding place like a lion. He lies in the wait for the poor. He catches them in his trap and drags them away. The helpless victims lie crushed brutes. The helpless victims lie crushed. Brute strength has defeated them. The wicked man says to himself, God doesn't care. He has closed his eyes and will never see me. O Lord, punish those wicked men. Remember those who are suffering. How can a wicked man despise God and say to himself, He will not punish me? And there was something here I just saw. But you do see, you take notice of trouble and suffering, and are always ready to help. And the helpless man commits himself to you. You have always helped the needy. I think sometimes we are just too prideful. Break the power of the wicked and evil men. Punish them for the wrong they have done until they do it no more. The Lord is king forever and ever. Those who worship other gods will vanish from his land. You will listen, O Lord, to the prayers of the lowly. You will give them courage. You will hear the cries of the oppressed and the orphans. You will judge in their favor so that mortal men may cause terror no more. I'm just going to leave it here for now. But I don't know. It's, to me, I mean, it's like Saul is really determined to get rid of David. Like, he's like really determined. But in Scythe, when they were, well, I feel sorry for Jonathan, because Jonathan, Saul's father, is like, he doesn't even really care about his own son. It's like he was like had a whole future ahead of him, but because he still wants to get David, and he wants to kill him, because not that he's scared of David, but because he knows that God has a lot of favor, for David, and he knows that he's going to be king. And it's like, well, that's going to happen. Where am I going to be? What's going to happen to me? So it's not like he's kind of envious. He hates him. He wants, literally, he wants him dead, gone, And like I said, I feel sorry for Jonathan, because Jonathan and David were bros, and they always looked out for each other. And that's even more sad because David is his son-in-law, Saul's son-in-law. And it's a shame that I don't even think I don't even think they had kids yet. Can you imagine? But but for Jonathan to hang in there this whole time, knowing that his father is out to get David at whatever cost, he wants to get him, kill him. But Jonathan's like, whatever my dad does, don't worry. We're going to hang on together. Jose or Michaela, go get him. Give me a second.
Do you want me to entertain?
Okay. Come get the box.
Entertainment. Entertainment. Entertainment.
We'll see if it's outside the door.
I just camera.
Is that it? Yeah. Make sure the door doesn't go open.
I entertained your video.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. So yeah, I kind of feel sorry. Again, I feel sorry for Jonathan, because he has to regardless of what his father is doing, he's like, I'm always going to be on your side. I'll always have your back. And even Saul tried to kill his own son. Get back inside, guys. So now, thank you. Who's that for, Sherry or John?
John.
Okay. Jumping. Okay, don't talk like that, please. Okay, enough.
Jose just said he doesn't care.
Enough. So, and then he knows because he knows that David is going to be king, he's like, I really don't care anymore, because I know when you become king, it's like I'm gonna be your second man. It's like everything, he's gonna be under David's I don't know what you would call a second man in these days. They're in second in command, almost. So he's looking forward to that. I'm gonna be right there right up there with you. So we got this. So in a way, it was good, and it was bad and good for Jonathan to leave, as to go with David. Because bottom line, the outcome, he's going to have it better than he would have with his dad, because his dad was going to kill him anyway. He would have had nothing. But that's where we are with this. So we'll see how far Saul will go to still try to get rid of David. But we know that's, of course, if you read the book of Samuel before and the whole story of the king, David, that never happened. But I would like to find out what happened to Saul. But I think I do know, but I just want to make sure that I don't want to spill the beans, or, I forgot what they call it. They say something about a movie or a spoiler. I don't want to be a spoiler. Okay, guys. So that's it for today. And like a fish in the sea, so glad you caught me. And if you like hearing me read about, these stories of the Bible, and I just want to share, not my opinion, but yeah, kind of like my opinion of what I think about the chapter, please, like, subscribe, and comment, and we will catch you next time on Faith Night Friday. Bye.